And since they cannot pair the rules, repeat any kind of gods, right about now we're gonna be seeing everything different than Isis and Odin from them. So it's gonna be Luyindula playing with Gaia and Shelty with Poseidon. That is a rather nice matchup. I would be expecting that the Poseidon, if played correctly, should be having a bit of an edge. And see right now he's going to be getting Luyindula right off the bat. Piggies are gonna be coming home, and this one shouldn't really be lured all that much. But he's gonna be hoping that he's gonna be getting a bit more animals quickly before he's gonna be finishing with them, as he needs to be getting a few willies on the wood in there. And he does have a lot of stragglers actually. 4 of them all together. So that's really actually 5. So 5 stragglers, that's a really good spawn. Sometimes you're gonna be getting like, for example, only 2. This one with 5, that's really good for those, or for a Greek build order to begin with. So that's making for quite a nice start for him, as this dog so far seems to be in a pretty good position, both middle, kind of middle-ish of the map, and also already getting a threesome right next to it. All the way to the top side, that's gonna be Luyindula, who is having quite a nice position as well, into the middle, a bit more, and triple. So that's not bad. Not bad at all, even green right now ground, of course, and a few blueberries in there in the middle. You know, lush front Gaia as the gold, of course, nicely positioned, quite nice protection if he needs it for it, and also for the chickens, but otherwise, well, he has already discovered secondary gold mine, and potentially even a few berries if he needs them a bit later. It seems to me that we're gonna be seeing TCs in water range. That's exactly the case, for example, with this one, and all the way to the left side. No, left side. This one is still his, so it's not the one that's gonna be in range, but for the opponent, this one certainly. And hey Radu, and everybody else, welcome to the stream today. Yeah, so going right now through the second game of Shelty's tournament match versus Luyindula from last week. And we're gonna be right now watching free food trickle from the Ship of Fingernails. And all the way to the right side, there's the second relic for cheaper siege weapons. I actually wonder, does it count for siege boats? I don't think so. But I'm not entirely 100% positive, but I would think not. Though it's something that might be a bit interesting to maybe explore. Yeah, so yeah, otherwise the fishies seem to be rather nicely positioned and spread out. So I'm gonna be expecting maybe even second dog here for Shelty. Second dog for Luyindula definitely looks pretty sweet about like there. But thing is that if he's gonna be countering and trying to counter Pestilence, then the first dog wasn't really all that greatly placed. That's kind of like the point against Poseidon. Once Poseidon is gonna be against you, you might be wanting to at least protect before and from Pestilence, because if it's gonna be cast, then you can be basically instantly losing water, especially in 1v1. So dog there, second dog there, more than one skid screen away, and you should be really fine, and basically force the opponent to cast it only on one dog. You're not gonna be like entirely fine. You're gonna be having much better chance of actually surviving. So all the way into the left, Battle of the Scouts. Oracle, of course, definitely gonna be losing because he's a bit of a pacifist in the Archaic Age with having no attack whatsoever. How's it about now for Shelty? He's still producing a bit more, and that's not entirely, of course, something we wouldn't expect, considering that we are only at almost 3 minutes. Kinda like in this combination right now for Shelty. The TC and the gold are nicely positioned towards each other, even though this one is in water range, still some kind of measure of protection, but they're having gold mines absolutely everywhere. You can see even this combination is not bad for Luyindula, even though the TC is slightly trickier, but he does have completely safe gold here, where the gold, or the way the TC in the middle. So you can be expecting that he shouldn't be having that much of a struggle with resources himself. Back TC for Shelty doesn't exactly do all that much, besides being quite nice ending and second part of the trade route from about like obviously here to the bottom. That's gonna be nice, and that's maybe a bit of a problem for Luyindula, because his TCs are not all that greatly positioned for that. So he might be wanting to be having probably trade here, going into the base one. So I don't think he wants to be hugging the shoreline all that much, but it still depends how well he's gonna be playing it. But Ares is coming in, definitely well gauged by Shelty, and I'm glad that we're gonna be seeing that. So let's see how he's gonna be using it, if it's gonna be working well or not. It's kind of loafer in here was having a bit of a problem, and apparently Shelty noticed. So yeah, he's paying pretty good attention. We have already seen before in the last game, and here just basically confirming that he's paying attention to even those kinds of little things. Though of course this mining camp could be on the shore on the longer side, but nonetheless with this amount of villagers it doesn't really matter yet. And he's not gonna be really putting on all that many more extras, at least for the time being. So second dog come in. Second dog so far come in for Luyindula as well. But legitimately this could be in range of both of them. Both could be in range of Pestilence, I'm thinking. It's kinda close. Could be wanting to actually test that, but it seems that it could be. Because he's having a really huge range. I think it's actually having range on like the whole, what is it called, diagonal. So it really takes a lot of space if you want to be getting away with it and or away from that. But yeah, well, at least at this point Luyindula did the basics. He was going to be, he's able to get rid of the Pestilence, at least of one of the dogs, so that's certainly quite helpful. He's even gonna be getting the Servant to help him fight in the water, which is obviously quite a bit of a help. He's not gonna be having like 3-4 boats from this one, and he's gonna be in the end to having at least this guy. Therefore it doesn't have to be really out of the water all that badly, and we're gonna be watching what is gonna be right now proceeding from this. So far Luyindula is of course gonna be having at least a bit of an edge, especially with the flower. Though the flower is not entirely like the greatly used, because right about now it's gonna be completely useless. As Shelty was able to fall back, and basically where you want to be using it. Exactly. When you first force your opponent to be right next to the dogs, he cannot get anywhere from there. So you just cast the flower in top of it, on top of the little army. They either have to be staying there and fight it, or they have to be going somewhere else, which is out of the protection from the dogs. So that's kind of like the best position of the flower on the water. This isn't exactly all that great, because it should be quite easy to destroy, and it just doesn't make all that, or it doesn't have all that much of an impact. So you're gonna be rarely forcing your opponent to basically leave the safety of the dogs or fight in right next to it. So she's gonna be just chilling around before she's not gonna be chilling anymore. And all the way onto the right side is gonna be Cyclops, at least sneakily going for another dog, and this is very well played by Luyindula. Not only with this one avoiding the Pestilence, but also the building the one here. But he's gonna be needing at least a few units. He's right now not producing any kind of like counter barracks or military barracks or anything like that for a few Turmas or Murmilos or anything. So therefore, those dogs are probably gonna be still under threat. It's gonna be of course resulting into Luyindula maybe having a bit of a struggle with this. He also certainly needs a few more fishing boats nearby so that he can be depositing them into the docks if he needs them shooting. So far it doesn't seem to be exactly the case though all that much, and the Caladria in the middle is definitely quite a nice idea, as she's gonna be right about now providing a bit of a force target, exactly as Pegasi do for the geeks, even though it's not really used anymore all that much. And any kind of shooting and shot that basically is not falling exactly where it should be is definitely missed in water battles. The last one kind of spaz in there a bit. Okay, so this dog apparently is not going to be finished all that much. Since like the Caladria, yeah, well, they're just gonna be looking at the distraction, not gonna be able to do anything. Maybe gonna be able to at least take the piggy home. But Servant is not gonna be able to do anything at all. Only gonna be luring a bit of attention from all of those boats. And welcome, Kilty. Hello to the stream. Kinda opposite. Welcome, or rather hello and welcome to the stream. That's slightly better, I guess. But nonetheless, now Shelty is gonna be pushing on the opponent, and of course, even though he's having the dogs there, well, he doesn't have anything in them, so they're not shooting, and you need fishing boats for that. So, not really that great place for him to be hiding in, and of course, down to 30 damage per hit by the Cyclops is definitely getting noticed at this point, as he's still having plenty of hit points himself, and Shelty is right now playing it quite cleverly. Okay, right cleverly indeed at this point, and he is going to be just, maybe he's gonna be able to even like completely dismember even his opponent, because right now he's gonna be getting rid of his economy, because they were still more interested in the Cyclops in there. So he's at least gonna be taking like 1 or 2 boats, keeping them here, and getting rid of the Cyclops. But otherwise, the battle in the middle is getting more and more serious. And Hippocampus, he could be basically used the same as the Caladria a bit earlier, and he can be sending him somewhere into the middle. Yet again, not entirely that positive. This was yet again a great usage of the Carnivora in there. But nonetheless, it did force Shelty away from the position, but unfortunately into even a better one for him. So, not entirely certain he won all that much out of it. Let's see, at least Hippocampus was getting a few chops eaten by the flower in the middle of the sea. He's gonna right now dying and fall into the depths of the sea. And how actually quickly is he respawning? Like a minute? Half a minute? Not entirely certain right about now how quickly he's coming back and given from Poseidon back into the battle. But nonetheless, we are right now going to be looking, for example, into some kind of economical upgrade. So far, we don't see anything on the fishing boats. For the economy on the land, you're gonna be looking at Hendaks from red, and blue is gonna be at what? Nothing. Oh well, because he doesn't even have any economical guild yet. I mean, like on water, it's not really that surprising, but considering we are at almost 9 minutes, maybe you could be starting to think about it. So that Shelty doesn't really get away from him all that much. So it would be quite unlucky and something that he wouldn't be all that happy about in there. But nonetheless, the battle is of course right now going to be heading into the favor of Shelty, as he's having 2 dogs shooting and helping him quite immensely. And even though there was a bit of an attempted kiting, didn't exactly work out all that much. And Shelty is finally getting some kind of edge right about now on the water. So, looking at the resources, for example, Shelty is 150 to 100 gold, so the heroic age is still far away. Luyindula is not too much better off. As of course the dog here has been destroyed, and you can see that apparently there is even a skeleton of the Cyclops. And he's actually having even the horn. Look at that. When the water is gonna be coming back, he's having a little horn in there. That's actually incredible little detail in there. So it's really, you can tell that it's after a Cyclops. But nonetheless, let's go back to the water in here. And he is going to be, yet again, forcing Luyindula into the defensive, but this is a very good position for him in the corner. I mean, like, obviously you cannot escape from a corner, but for the defensive purposes right about now, it's rather nice. And it's gonna be allowing him right now to probably even repel the opponent, but he still needs another fishing boat into this second dock so that it's gonna be starting shooting. As it's not gonna be shooting on its own. So Hippocampus is back. Give me the information. 60 seconds respawn. Cannot be attacked by docks. Fairly interesting little bit of information in there. Which of course kind of, no, slightly makes sense. Because you'll be then very easy to kill in the early stages in there. But in the meantime, we are going to be right now looking into the battle yet again, moving ahead here to the bottom. Where Shelty is still having a bit of a struggle. There's going to be right now the last Carnivora. She's potentially going to be slightly helping in this little engagement. This is going to be decent, or rather doing quite a decent job in those boats. And even into a fishing boat. But yet again, imagine if he was having the Carnivora into this position. I'm really thinking that he should be keeping it a bit longer. And exactly for these moments when he forces him that way. Would he be able to force him there without the Carnivora in the first place? That's a bit of a question. Seems to me that he would be. Looking how he's right now moving ahead. He need to be switching into Shelty, and he seems to be right now looking into Heroic Age. 500 to 100. It's looking rather promising to me, at least so far. He's gonna be getting a bit inefficient on the wood line. That's even low for here. He's not doing anything, probably just commanding everybody else in there. But nonetheless, near the water, it seems to me that actually Shelty is gonna be losing. And he's not even producing any more boats at this point. So that's maybe slightly surprising. Especially considering that Luyindula is coming for the second TC already. And Shelty's economy is right now gonna be struggling quite mightily. Because of missing the water altogether. It's looking suddenly really good for you. And even though it almost looked like that Shelty could be winning the water, well, in the end, not exactly the truth. Not exactly the truth all that much. So there it is. It's right now going to be resulting into maybe even the Catoscopos dying to all the hits. Shelty was paying attention, he noticed that. He's gonna be right about now just... Or is he gonna be coming back? That was probably just automatic, it seems. He's just out of range right now. It's kinda nice. It's kind of nice. And he's gonna be right now running around, maybe trying to scout. Yeah, exactly. You have seen that. If the front TC is getting taken, but it is going to be the back one. The same as Shelty is taking the back TC though. And he's gonna be even a bit faster than his opponent. All the way to the bottom. And the top TC in the end is actually disrupted. So very good job by Shelty. Going to be having the bull's head on the shield in that Theseus. And holy damn, he is doing quite a nice job. Theseus, the Minotaur killer, with... he was the guy with Ariadne, right? Ariadne was the one who gave him... Oh, well, how is it called actually? The threat. It's probably called a bit differently. What I mean to say from the myth in English. But nonetheless, he's gonna be right now fighting in a bit of a tough situation. Yeah, he's gonna be overpowered by the bigger numbers, and he's gonna be having to wait for his reborn, or rather rebirth, a bit later. And well, that's of course gonna be taking a bit of a money and gold. Some offering to the gods. to Poseidon so that he could be coming back. And the last right about now is gonna be Shelty still not going anywhere with the Heroic Age. Luyindula should be having a whole lot easier time with that, even though he's right now quite heavily investing into even the 30C. And see, Kataskopos dying already, and apparently the bear as well. And nonetheless, all the way here, he's gonna be already a few Hippicons. And how many buildings he has? 3. So Shelty is basically fully switched into the land with 3 already. On the left. We're gonna be having a few units, but it doesn't seem to me that he should be able to stop this all that much. Especially looking at the army coming forward from Luyindula, who's already also aiming for a bit of wall-in. Not by the piggy, but probably by this villager. Yep. By this villager, and is he gonna be caught here? Well, that was a that was a bit of actually wrong decision by Luyindula. I don't entirely understand why he chose to escape. Because obviously, if he just continued to the bottom, he will be inevitably fighting all those horses with the Murmills, and that's something that Luyindula or that Shelty wouldn't be wanting to do. So that was not entirely necessary decision. Maybe he's just gonna be screwing over the wall-in altogether. Maybe he just kinda decided against that. In which case, no problem. Yeah, kinda nice duo, domesticated and wild piggy right next to each other in there. And so, of course, even with a bit of help of the boats, it's gonna be resulting into Shelty having to retreat into safety. All the way to the right flank, this is gonna be Shelty trying to scout the front TC and somehow control it, as he's definitely not having enough chances right about now with Heroic Age. You can see he's right now he's gonna be switching into the farming in quite high numbers, but right now the control of the water and also of the land pretty much right now fully by Luyindula, at least on the right flank, and the left flank pretty much as well. It apparently is going to be resigning into Shelty, not wanting to really play this anymore, because he just doesn't see how he could be getting out of the situation with the water being in such a good position for the opponent, even having Poseidon, and apparently even with the economy heading way ahead of Shelty. Okay, so this is gonna be right about now. Luyindula taking a win, and we're gonna be basically down to a best of 3. With the score being a 1-1 in this best of 5. Okay, so Luyindula winning everything. That was quite a nice battle on the water, which almost really seemed like that he should be heading for Shelty, but exactly at that point, when it was looking that way, he really quickly lost it. That was kind of interesting. But yeah, well, just the pressure worked for Luyindula, and Shelty unfortunately wasn't able to get 100% effective Pestilence there, because Luyindula was also playing it smart, and he was trying to avoid it with the second dock. It was very well played. I can see the military count a whole lot higher for Luyindula, as obviously Atlanteans do have the weaker boats, so he had to be producing a bit more of them, but in the end he also had a whole lot more units on the land, which helped him to force Shelty into the resign. And not all that many researches for Shelty, and neither for Luyindula, to be honest. The military numbers, like most of the time, actually slightly better for Luyindula. That's kind of exactly what we have seen from Shelty. And here he was having like... Okay, that was here. About like here, it was looking like that he could be having the best chance. Exactly when Luyindula was at the slump. And Shelty was like the closest to him. But it just didn't happen. He just wasn't able to produce enough boats for that. And Luyindula withstood that threatening moment and won in the end. GG.